welcome back to another review by Projects. I'm Psycho, and in this part I'm going to be reviewing Call of Duty 2. So, well, let's just get to it. Call of Duty 2 is a first-person shooter video game inspired by real-life World War II events. It's probably the most popular first-person shooter game up to today, because of the time it was released and because of its story, well, yeah, kind of story. Because of the real-life World War II events and the depiction of those in detail, which has been, they have gone into quite a lot of details. So that's probably those are probably the reasons why Call of Duty 2 is pretty much one of the most popular first-person shooter games. It allows a single player and a multiplayer mode. The single player can be somewhat difficult on the hardest mode, but on the other modes, it's pretty much all about the story. One of the reasons why it's so popular even up to today is because of the multiplayer mode. Loads of people have started playing the multiplayer when it was released, and are still playing it up to today, so it hasn't lost its touch, or, well, one might say so. So even the multiplayer is still among the most popular in the franchise. The game features a linear story and linear maps, so you can't really get lost in the game. It's a pretty straightforward game, a pretty straightforward first-person shooter game. So you can get lost and can really enjoy in the gameplay and in the storyline without having too much difficulty with other things. As far as the gameplay goes, it's a classic first-person shooter game, keeping the style from the first part that was released. And as said, it features linear story and maps. And it has a really good gameplay. As for the time it was released, it was probably the best first-person shooter game that could have been bought back then. But without many upgrades, it still can keep in touch with some of today's games. And that's probably one of the reasons why it's so popular. It still gets a lot of attention, although there can be some things missing throughout the game that could be upgraded. But it has its own charm even without upgrading anything. The graphics are quite good for the time it was released. They aren't really the best if you compare them with today's games, but it's in Call of Duty 2. It's not really much about the graphics and enjoying everything, but it's more about the gameplay, which made the game so popular, and the events from World War II. Which are really fun to play if you're a history fan like myself. You kind of get to know the events from a different perspective than they have been told from anywhere else. In my opinion, the game is really great. It's an awesome first-person shooter game. Many games have been based on it, even some of the newer ones. It features a great story, especially with the real-life events that have happened, which are depicted in quite a detail. So it's truly worth playing, especially on single-player and multiplayer mode. If you're good at first-person shooter games, I highly suggest the multiplayer mode because it's a unique experience, all in all. So, well, that's pretty much gonna be it for the review. Don't forget to like and subscribe, comment on the videos, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one.